We need to talk about SharpieGate. It is the stupidest story that has ever come out of the Trump administration and its time with the media, and deeply indicative of the president's interaction with the media and how the media interacts with the president. It's just a dumb story. The president said that Dorian could have impacted Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. The media said, no, Alabama wasn't in there. It turns out in the initial briefings, Alabama was in there. By the time the president made the statement, though, Alabama had been taken out of the briefing, so the media wanted to know why the president was continuing to say Alabama when Alabama was no longer in there. So the president then sharpied up a cone map of the hurricane and sharpied into Alabama to show Alabama could have been taken. Meanwhile, CNN deleted Alabama from the map and put Mississippi in its place, and everybody screamed, anybody paying attention to the Bahamas? There's a disaster down there. Tornadoes went through North Carolina last night, and yet the media and the president are fighting each other over a freaking Sharpie marker on a map and whether or not Alabama had ever been considered potentially in the path of the hurricane. Here's Don Lemon from CNN.
The fact is, there were some very, very early models that showed a possible threat to parts of Alabama. But those models were from Tuesday, August 27th, Wednesday the 28th. The models were updated 4 times a day. So by Sunday morning, remember that was Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday. This is Sunday. By Sunday morning, when the president cited an already non-existent threat to Alabama, those models had been updated at least 15 times. Like I said, the White House insisting that the president was being briefed hourly, right? So he's being briefed hourly, updated 15 times. Remember, Grisham said he's being briefed hourly. So why did he get it so wrong? Why did he continue to insist that people in Alabama were threatened, even though the National Weather Service said there was no threat?
Who the hell cares? Honestly. I mean, who cares? Here's Sean Hannity.
Let me address one glaring example of fake news media bias. Pretty much every newsroom in America screwed this up and lied to you by accusing the president of lying. Now, the president issued this tweet. Oh, look at that. That's from, I think, August 29th and 30th, proving the president what he said about the earlier models about Hurricane Dorian, that it might hit Alabama is true. But if you watch the media mob, you would think the president was lying, as they always do.
I don't care. This is such a childish thing when there are such big issues. The president is doubling down on this, and I find it bizarre. The media is doubling down on this. You know, the thing about the president that I'm most struck by is that he has a habit of drawing out of his opponents the same buffoonery they accuse him of. They behave like him. If anything, the president is a mirror. He reflects the people around him, not so much as dragging people down, but exposing who they actually are. And Don Lemon, listen, I know Don. I don't think Don's a bad person. I enjoy hanging out with Don. Don't shoot me for saying that. We've got a lot. I worked at CNN for a number of years, but Don hates the president, and it's very clear he hates the president. And to take this stentorious tone that this is a serious story. This is the most serious thing to have ever happened to the United States. The president doctored a map with a Sharpie. And then same with Sean Hannity. I know Sean. Sean's a friend. I know Sean. Sean and I have hung out. I've been on Sean's show repeatedly. Sean comes on before me in a different market. And the media's lying. The media's lying. No. You heard Don Lemon. Don Lemon's point is that the president Sunday was still saying Alabama when by then it was well outside the course. Listen, I don't care about what the president tweeted. What I care about is the media and the president's reaction to it. The two of them doubling down. It's like it's the War of the Roses, not the actual historic War of the Roses. Have you ever seen the movie? Was it Kathleen, what's her name, and Michael Douglas, where they ultimately wind up jumping onto the chandelier and falling to their deaths as they're battling each other over a house because of a messy divorce? I mean, this is what it is. The president and the media lived in a symbiotic relationship for years where they played each other up. They used each other. The president got on different media outlets and built himself up. The media had Donald Trump on because he was a ratings draw. And now they're going through a messy divorce, and the rest of of us are the kids in this relationship trying to figure out, Mom and Dad, why do you hate each other so much? You're both acting like idiots. That's what's going on here. The president and the media are going through a very messy divorce, and the nation is held hostage to it. This is a stupid, 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 stupid story. The president's reaction to it and the doubling down on it is stupid. The media's reaction to it and the media doubling down on it is stupid. The president's sycophants trying to apologize for the president, say, no, actually, he tweeted on the 28th, 29th, never mind that he was still hanging on to it days later when it was no longer the forecast and yet was getting hourly briefings. And the media say, he was getting hourly briefings, and yet he said on Sunday, so the president has to come out. Who cares? Do you know the Bahamas is a war zone right now? The Bahamas is a disaster right now. The Bahamas is a wreck. People are dead. The body count continues to go up. The prime minister's brother lost his life. It's a wreck. The Chinese want to bring Huawei into the Bahamas to rebuild infrastructure. The United States is looking to see what can we do to stop China from making inroads into the Bahamas, 50 miles off the coast of Florida. North Carolina had a tornado last night, nearly wiped out a whole town in North Carolina. We got all sorts of problems. Around the world we have problems. In the United States we have problems. We have bigger issues than a freaking Sharpie marker on a map and people doubling down in their positions. And yet that's what the media and the president want to talk about. And you know what this actually is? It's a ratings issue. The nonsensical issues between the media and the president, the media is convinced it's all about them and it must be good. I mean, the media takes the position that no press is bad, or all press is good press. There's no such thing as bad press to the media. Look at the Bloomberg News and this Leif Olson story. They got the story completely wrong. They've doubled down on it. They refuse to apologize. They refuse to retract the story. But hey, everybody's talking about Bloomberg News. It must be a good thing. It's genuinely disappointing to see. There is way more to talk about, way more important. But Mom and Dad, the president and the media, they're going through a messy divorce, and the United States is held hostage to their insanity, acting ridiculous. And, you know, honestly, I think we could probably use a break from all of them. At least we have the weekend. We need to move on to actual important stuff because this is garbage. And the media and all of them involved should really just